I'm not going to say a single word about the Tennessee Titans record against the Indianapolis Colts because I was a punter, and there's no reason for me to talk about that. With that being said, we did not punt much against the Tennessee Titans, so you probably have no clue who I am to begin.
Look, I'm unstoppable. Forget your defense, nothing but an obstacle. Run it back, switch it up, call it audible. Serving up them Hail Marys till the game over with the showstopper. So hot, you gotta blow on it. I said I'll huff and I'll puff, then I'll pass to my left while I'm looking to my right. Hit them right in the chest. It be looking like magic. Better give me the throne. I ain't talking about Patrick, but I rep my home. I'm never at the end of my zone. I'm bad to the bone. Eating up these pig skins like they chicharrones, and you a douche cabron. Mira, mira at the mirror on the wall. I'm the greatest of them all. They gon' put me in the hall. Your name is only written in a bathroom stall. Quit your stalling and make a play. My drive too long. Pop the clutch, I don't pump the brakes. I know what it takes to gain the muscle, get rugged. These butterfingers be fumbling. Squash the scrimmage and rub it in Robitussin. How I give them concussion. They seeing double, they rushing and pass the shovel, the dirt and rubble. I bury them under it. Stay in your huddle and get 10 yards back. Never turn your back. I'ma pull your flag. I go full contact. Out punch, out kick like a shotgun.
Welcome back, everybody. We're back. Josh is back with an 8K camera, apparently. He wanted us to see every single detail of his skin. Thank you for that, sir.
Appreciate it, man.
And his JT jersey, which, yes, we've seen it.
It'll be on sale next week.
Why are you like this as a person? why you don't have to be like this. You really don't have to be like this, sir. But you know what? We'll get to that in a second. So welcome back to the HorseShoe Mob Podcast. We're bringing you everything Colts and trying to keep our sanity at this point in time. So, you know, before we go any further, I'd be remiss if we didn't mention our co-commentator, friend, brother, Harish Nukala, had a passing in his family. So we want to say prayers to the family, hoping everybody's able to come together with peace and love. We love you, and hopefully everything gets better soon for y'all.
Yes, man. Sorry for your loss, man.
Yes. And so without further ado, we can go ahead and just introduce the guys right after introducing the website, www.fanbattlesports.com, where you can go for all your AFC South goings on. You'll see articles, you'll see videos, you'll see podcast episodes or links to podcast episodes right on www.fanbattlesports.com. And yeah, make sure that you go there. So without further ado, getting to the guys with us, we have the one and only Silent Assassin. Well, not so much silent recently, because I mean he's had enough with some of you fan bases in the AFC South that's not Colts fans. But you know what? We'll get into that. Austin Cook, everybody.
What's up? I'm Austin.
Yes, that is tame compared to the things that he's been saying recently.
He's been the nicest. He's been the nicest today. Have you ever been in a couple of weeks?
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, because that fuse has been short. Like literally, it's been like here's the top of the fuse, and here's the bottom, and there's about that much before. Just
hey, let's not paint me out to be a bad guy.
You are not a bad guy.
I'm just taking up
You're
my
not a bad
team.
guy. You are not a bad guy, sir. I just want to let you know that you are not a bad guy. Okay, I need you to know. Okay, and then we also have with us the man, the troll, the legend, Josh Senior. Everybody.
Oh no! You way too nice. You're way too nice. You're way too nice. But I have been the nicest compared to you guys lately. So yeah, I can.
What?
Huh?
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Oh, my bad.
No, that's me. See, the thing is, I have to balance things out, okay? Because at the end of the day, I know exactly what I'm dealing with at all times. Like Josh, you have very low tolerance. Austin, you just sniper, just boom, shot coming in hot. For me, I take the more stealthy approach. I get real close, and then I just go ahead. Then once your guard is down, just bam, just real quick. Just that's it.
Well, see, the thing is, I hold things in. It's like I see things, and then at the right time, that's when I explode.
Fair. Okay, that's fair. All right, and so that's Josh Senior, and I'm Chris Jackson. I'm the middle ground of these of these two. So I'm here to make sure that stuff don't go off the rails, but. You know what? It's going to go off the rails anyway, so who cares? All right. So without further ado, let's get to some of the comments because people are already coming in hot. So first one, the Colts think in Stonehouse is better than McCaff myth. Well, Einhorn's better than Finkel, so who cares? All right. So then he got Pay the Man, which Josh, I'm pretty sure you appreciate that.
Yes.
Also, prayers to Harish. Facebook user said the Colts are by far the worst team in the AFC and NFC, and he's saying that with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers existing, also with
Cardinals.
the Bears, these
Titans, Texans, Jags.
Yeah,
the Lions.
As long as CJ Stroud's out there throwing pick sixes in practice, Oh
no! He's learning. He's learning.
Oh, gotcha. Remember, everybody except for Anthony Richardson is learning. So, all right, that's fine. That's fair. And then Zay Johnson says, is that a Marlon Jackson or JT jersey, Josh?
It's JT. Marlon Jackson didn't have one of these when he played. He didn't have one of these. This is JT, 28. Respect the man and pay the man.
Okay. All right. Well, respect the man, pay the man. I'm glad you said that. Because you are the man when it comes to segues. So speaking of the man, Jonathan Taylor's been in a lot of headlines recently. Many of them having to do with everything from being on the PUP list to possibly going on the non-football injury list to going to trade. But before, listen, let's just go ahead and just kind of break this down because we got here gradually and we're going to get there. Somebody said Titans should bring JT in as our third string behind Henry. Well, as soon as y'all don't want to give Henry no money after this year, JT could potentially go ahead and be there. You never know.
Oh, they're gonna need them to run it back because the second string got no ACL. So.
True. Yeah, true. He's out there running like a marionette. But all right. So what we're gonna do is just kind of just going down the line, right? So just talking about how everything has been happening, right? Because we know that training camp started last week.
Mm-hmm.
So training camp started last week. JT was coming in. We hadn't heard anything. And then running back call happened. And then boom, next day, JT's on the pup list. So word was that it was possibly from a lingering thing from the ankle injury that he got surgery on. Some people said that it had to do with the contract. Okay, that's fine. Then the news came out regarding Jim Irsay, talking about or making the comment about running backs and having to negotiate a new CBA. And then Jonathan Taylor's agent, Malky Kawa, basically said that he basically just advocating for JT, but taking Jim Irsay's tweet as a direct attack on JT. So that turned into a back and forth where now Malky Kawa is, I'm going to say, in the crosshairs of Colts fan because everybody's looking at him like, who are you and why are you just talking all of a sudden? So then we see that later on, I'm going to say Saturday, JT went to Jim Irsay's bus that he had out there on the practice or, in the practice facility. He sat down with Jim Irsay. They said they had a pretty decent talk. Then the news came out that there was a trade that they talked about. Okay, that's fine.
Right.
Now JT's kind of in everybody's crosshairs like, yo, like, what are you doing? What's happening? What's going on here? Come to find out that the trade request happened that Tuesday before. So he'd asked for a trade, but he'd been in training camp, just hadn't been dressed for training camp the whole entire time. So now you're hearing different things. We're hearing that the money he wants is $16 million per year, and he would like that money to be guaranteed. Then we're hearing that Jim Irsay saying that it's just like there's no way that we're going to pay him. There's no ways that. Then when we talked about the non-football injury list, now we're talking about the fact that they're saying that if they put him on the no football or non-football injury list, then basically that extends his contract for basically another season. That means that it basically takes away a year of eligibility, basically redshirts him for this year and just takes away that time.
Right.
So my question is, with everything that we've been seeing, we heard Jonathan Taylor say different things back in April. He was happy, he was content. He said, "You know what? I'm signed up for 4 years. I'm going to be playing. I put the pen to the paper, basically fully accountable."
Yeah.
Now, just speaking on JT, because we're going to talk about Irsay and JT's agent after this, but how is it possible for there to be such a shift, not just in attitude, but just in wanting to say, you know what, I want out of here to get to where we are now? Because it's only been it was only 3 months before we started hearing about this. So it's like, how did we get to this point from April?
He changed agents since then. When he said it on April 19th, that he's all in and that, he, like you said, he put pen to paper, he signed, what he signed up for. He's planning to play out the year and hope for a contract the next year. But then after that, he changed agents, and that's when it went downhill from there. That's the timeline I got.
Yeah. What about you, Austin?
I mean, yeah, I feel like he's definitely being fed. Like, I know we're not supposed to talk about the agent, but he's being fed some false information. Because, I mean, everybody knows what the running back market is. And, yeah, he should make more than most running backs. But he's definitely being fed some wrong information. And just, like, he shouldn't have made that big of a turn. Being from wanting to be a Colt for life to being asking for a trade request is just huge in a matter of months.
Yeah. Yeah, and the issue that I'm having is that, it was something that was mentioned, I think, by someone on Twitter, and I can't remember who, but it was a valid point because what they said was that, Jonathan Taylor, it's almost like he went with the good guy approach. He went with the good guy approach to say, hey, I'm gonna sign it whenever we get a deal done, we'll get a deal done. And he consistently said the exact same thing over and over and over again, but then we see this shift where, it's like you don't hear from him. You know that he's at camps and you know that he's doing all these things, but now it's a little bit different because now it's like, okay, I want to get traded. Now, of course, you're going to have all the speculation. Oh, this team wants him, or there's numerous teams that said they would take him and pay him, what it is that he's looking for, this, that, and the other. When in reality, you're looking at the things that people are saying and those things that are being offered, and you know for a fact that you have teams that could they pay him? Absolutely. But the problem that you're going to see is that, what is he going to be looking at in terms of that type of contract? Because 16 sounds good, but the thing is, it's just like for a lot of these things, it's just like you're going to have certain clauses in there. You're going to have certain things that are going to require you to get to certain amounts. So while it's going to be great to see that 16 ain't realistically a 16, and I'm only speculating. It sounds like he wants a 16 guaranteed. Because, this running back position, we've seen how it's gone. This running back position has become, I'm going to say, probably one of the worst in the league in terms of getting paid. Outside of possibly kicker, but kickers don't deal with the type of physicality that running backs do.
So if teams said they are willing to pay a young running back, where he's 24, 25, they're willing to trade and pay him the contract that he's allegedly requesting. So why is Devin Cook ain't signing yet? Why is Zeke still out there? Why is you said Kareem Hunt still out there? If they're going to pay those guys, Kareem Hunt's still good. He was dealt with a bad hand with going through his off the field situation before Chiefs cut him. Devin Cook just rushed for over 1,000 yards and got cut by a team. So if you're going to pay him, why you're not getting a guy that's has stayed healthy and had with top 5 in rushing?
Well, because everything is a smokescreen. So does it seem like there's deep-seated issues with the team or in terms of the philosophy? Possibly. And the issue that you have is that if he's being fed false information, then that's an issue, because you're telling me that you're going to be feeding this and saying all these things. Me personally, if I'm seeing JT and I see that he comes out, let's just say he comes out, gives us a full season, runs for over 1,500, there's no way in hell that you don't pay that man.
Yep.
There's no way in hell that you don't pay that man. But the problem is that after 3 years of him running and him going and having the issues that he's had this past year, he has the lingering issues with the ankle injury, and now he wants to basically go ahead and match what Christian McCaffrey's matching. Now, I'm going to be completely honest about Christian McCaffrey. He's had injury issues as well, but he actually did find his stride with the 49ers this past season. But honestly, I don't even think he was the top 2 running back earners in the league, or top 3, Christian McCaffrey, Alvin Kamara. And Christian McCaffrey's at 16, Alvin Kamara's at 15.5. And then after that is Derrick Henry at 12.5.
So we've seen the running backs get undervalued in the league. We see, like you said, we've seen what the Panthers did. They traded, McCaffrey away. He was their guy. He was their offense, just like JT is for us. You've seen Devin Cook have a great year with the Vikings, and they just cut him. You've seen Dallas cut Zeke. Not saying it was bad that they should have cut Zeke, because Tony Pollard slightly better, especially in the passing game. But he hasn't got paid yet. He's wanting a contract, a longer deal contract. Same thing with Barkley. I get all those running backs are standing up for themselves. Even Derrick Henry, speaking up for all the backs, and even Nick Chubb. Everybody, they all feel like they should be paid. But we all. This is what 2019. When did they do the CBA?
I believe it was 2019.
When they all had this meeting and they agreed to this with $10 million on the tag, and now all of a sudden they want to renegotiate. Well, Najee Harris think that they should renegotiate that and change it. Well, wait until when the next one is.
Next year, I believe.
Is the next year after 2024? Now they want it to be changed now. And that's what Irsay was saying. And it took out of context. Everybody blew it up. Oh, he's talking about his own running back, and he wasn't. He was speaking highly of JT. After the season, he's like, we're gonna make sure he's a Colt. It's just the fact that the timeline of after JT switches agency is a lot of back and forth.
Yeah, and too much back and forth, honestly, because if we're being real, it and this kind of moves into my next point that we saw exactly how Jim Irsay was. Now we know that Jim Irsay, he's been he's been active. He's always active on Twitter when it comes to fans, when it comes to certain things. But we saw how active he was when it came to, talking about like the whole running back situation. And so we saw that one tweet that, many people, like without context, they didn't know that was to Najee Harris. They thought that they were talking about the whole situation as far as Jonathan Taylor, just because the timing of it was just awful.
Right.
Like he went on the PUP list, and then there was rumors that he was looking for a new contract. But then the very next day, here comes Jim Irsay with this tweet. So it's just like the timing of it just seemed crazy. But we've seen the tweets. We've seen some of the stuff that Irsay said. We know that they had the meeting on the bus. And honestly, it's like we've heard everything about Irsay kind of dealing with this himself, but we haven't really heard anything about Ballard. So right now, it's just like it seems like Irsay's more so in the forefront now. So then my question is, but is Irsay fueling the fire with this whole situation? Like with how he's going about it with the tweets and everything that he's saying publicly?
I think what he said started it, but like Josh said, it was took out of context. Because he was obviously talking about what Najee Harris had said that day. And like him not replying to Jonathan Taylor's agent, like that just shows like he's not trying to make it all public like that. Like what Jonathan Taylor's agent was doing is childish.
Yeah.
And like I just feel like it shouldn't have fueled it, but it did.
It was a window of opportunity for him to do that because agents are smart. They know what the hell to do. They knew that, hey, if I say something at this moment, I can make this situation look bad. I can say, hey, the Colts don't want to pay their running back. After 3 years of rushing for the team, they don't value their running back when that's not true. But he took that opportunity to do that once the tweet came out. Have Irsay not say that, things would have been private still. It just he took the opportunity. He's like, hey, this is my opportunity to say something or stand up for JT instead of just emailing or contacting him or contacting Ballard and say, hey, what's this about? What's the tweet about? I see Irsay saying something and we want to address it. But to your point, Chris, I look at Irsay speaking now because I see him speaking up because over the past couple of years, the Colts have been losing, had bad losses, been drafting, but we drafted a quarterback at 4. He just tired of losing. I don't think Ballard could get us out of his hole, so he had to speak up for his team. He's been like 4 or 5 years ago. He's been in the back, in the backs, in the scenes, just watching Irsay do his thing. But now he's seeing like I got to be on the forefront. I got to address these things for us running backs, for us the team with quarterback. If he decides to play or starts, that's up to the coaching and Ballard. He's just been that active person because he's tired of losing. And you know when he does this type of thing, it means he mean business.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's a tough thing, especially now, because you want to be able to say, well, you know what? How about Irsay just go and relax? You can go sit in the corner somewhere, whatever. But the thing is, you also know that Irsay, he has this thing where if he sees that the fan base is reacting a certain way, then he starts to get excited. And when he starts to get excited, then that's when he starts to get like, all right, I need to go. I need to say something. I need to get in the mix. And yeah, I appreciate that about Irsay, because I'm gonna say he's probably one of the owners in the league that is consistent when it comes to energy, when it comes to fans. He's consistent when it comes to everything. He was consistent when it came to donating to Damar Hamlin's foundation when that whole issue happened back in January. He's very vocal. He's very involved in the community. And so I appreciate that. But the thing is, at the same time, I'm not going to be completely oblivious to the fact that this is also a guy that for the longest time was very, very open and very, very honest about what his expectations were and what he wanted, not just from the team, but just being out there. So, right. I mean, I get it when it comes to Irsay, but at the same time, it's like somebody got to step in and say something, because I have a feeling that nothing that he says right now in regards to JT, especially with JT's agent, is going to be able to help anything other than talking to JT and just being like, listen, here's the amount, sign the check, do what you got to do. Or just saying, listen, we need you. We got promising young QB. We hope this is our QB for good. You'll be able to help with the development, with the progress. And I mean, it's not like he's not like, one thing that's getting lost in all this is the fact that JT ain't missed not a single day. He's on the sideline. He's there. We've seen him. We've seen him dapping up Anthony Richardson, dapping up Deion Jackson. We've seen him talking to certain people. Does he look like he's discontent? Absolutely. But it's not for lack of being there. If he wanted to hold out, he could just stay home. You
watch Pat McAfee show today?
Yeah.
When he had, I think, Lombardi on, and Lombardi made a good point too. He's like, if you're gonna hold out, just stay at home. Why come to training camp with that vibe of, hey, you want a contract, and you think you undervalue? Just stay at home, because you're going there looking. It's hot as hell. You got a fucking hoodie on over your head. I mean, hey, keeping it real. It's hot as hell outside. And you got a hoodie on your head with some joggers on. You pissed off. I'm not. It's not bashing him. I'm just saying that if you're unhappy, find a different way to be unhappy. Don't bring their vibes to around the team. The team look energetic, energized and excited to want to get 1% better each day. And here it is, you got this guy looking upset as hell in a hoodie on it and 99-degree weather. It's unnecessary to me. I know he's young, and usually the young guys do that. They make those bad decisions now, and hopefully we get past that. It's just that the morale. We talk about the chemistry. We talk about how bad I love the chemistry in the locker room. Right there, right now, as of right now, he's been toxic. He's been one of those toxic person around the team right now because of a contract. Kenny Moore did the same thing last year, but it was short-lived before he got back to practice and go on to have a down year. But he did go to practice after making his statements.
Yeah, but like that, the one thing that I hate about that is the fact that you just be like, well, if you're gonna be disgruntled, go home.
Yeah.
And for me, it's a character thing. It's a big thing when it comes to character, because he could very easily stay home. He could very easily just go ahead and stay home. But the thing is, how many different pictures did we get of JT, not smiling or just looking like he had a straight face? How many pictures have we had? I'm gonna say we probably had about 10 since the beginning of training camp.
Mm-hmm.
Training camp, literally on a day-to-day basis, is lasting 3, 4, 5 hours. So if you mean to tell me that all you can squeeze out is that, but mind you, you have people who are sending videos of JT over there dapping up Anthony Richardson, going and talking to people. Every single person who's been talking to, that's been meeting with the press, even Deion Jackson said it. It's just like he's been supportive. He's making sure that it's just like that we're good, that everything's happening, that we're straight. So the thing is, listen, we all got a job. We all work.
Mm-hmm.
Austin, do you love your job every single day?
No, not every day.
Josh, do you love your job every single day?
Since I got this, shared to my page, yes, I do.
Don't give me that BS context. Don't give me that BS context. Do you love your job every day?
Yes.
Okay. So then also, and then I'm gonna ask this now. Do we
But I do, on a serious note, they're all growing pains. Some days I don't want to go, and some days I'm happy to go. So I do understand what you're saying. Yeah.
So guys, with the work that we all do we know for a fact that we're actually being underpaid?
I do.
Austin, do you feel like you're paid properly for the work that you do on a day in, day out basis?
I mean, sometimes.
No. It's yes or no. It's yes or no. Because if you got to say sometimes, the answer is no. If it ain't a yes, it's a no.
I guess no.
But
you said do we feel like we are underpaid at times?
Do we feel like we're underpaid for the work that we do?
I do.
Okay. Yeah. So the thing is, the only reason why we feel the way that we feel when it comes to Jonathan Taylor is because of the fact that he's on our team.
Mm-hmm.
We feel the way that we feel because of the fact that we want him out there to potentially run for 100 yards per game, or maybe even more, depending on who the team is. The problem that we're having is that there's a certain selfishness and arrogance in what we do, because we want him to do exactly what we want him to do, and we want him to do it and do it with a smile on his face, while getting underpaid for a position where we know for a fact that normally running back shelf lives are much lower than any other position. We just saw Tom Brady go all the way into 20 years. There's a lot of quarterbacks now that get better protection. There's better benefits and better pay than these guys who are running in the trenches. How many times has Derrick Henry saved Ryan Tannehill? Derrick Henry got Ryan Tannehill a whole ass contract
that he didn't deserve.
And we see Daniel Jones is making $40 million a year after the
45, ain't it?
Well, probably 45, but that's after they weren't willing to give him a 5th-year extension, and Saquon basically bailed him out. And Saquon is only making $1 million over what the franchise tag is.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's a certain selfishness and an arrogance. Logan, don't do this. Stop it right now. But there's a certain arrogance with what goes on with us fans. Like, I know that there's certain people that troll, and they're just like, oh, well, we can just go ahead and get another running back. That's fantastic. So you know what? That's great, because no matter what, either you're going to get Barry Sanders or you're going to get Trent Richardson. And there's possibility that you can go in between, and there's no way to tell. We just know now that when Jonathan Taylor is healthy, we have a Jonathan Taylor. So
my question would be, and I know I don't really agree with everything Colin says. I think we had the spaces the other day, right? Yeah, we had the space the other day. I don't agree with everything. I don't agree with everything he says about us. Sometimes it's overkill, but he made a point that maybe they will be relying on AR to run the ball a lot. I think that's my take on it. Why they don't want to give him that 16 or get close to that 16, because they're probably going to rely on AR running the ball a lot. Which I understand that.
Yeah, but we saw how that worked when we had Andrew Luck. Andrew Luck ran the ball, and he got hit and hit and hit.
His spleen exploded.
Yes.
We don't want our new quarterback to just go out there and run it every play. Like, yeah, it'll be great when he does run it, because he's huge. He's going to be hard to tackle because he's also fast. Well, but we don't need that every play.
Well, not every play, but he's going to take about maybe 20% of those carries from him. So because usually he get about 25 carries a game. So if him and AR on the field together, AR going to take 10 of those carries.
So here's where I'm going to go ahead, and here's the challenge that you deal with, right? Go back to the year that we had with Carson Wentz. That was Jonathan Taylor's best year.
Mm-hmm.
The best thing that they had going for him is the fact that they had a good amount of play action and they had a good amount of read option.
Mm-hmm.
Now, mind you, Carson Wentz was able to sell the read option because he was semi-mobile. Now you have somebody who you're going to have to account for. So when it comes down to it, you're going to have to pick your poison. Basically, you're going to have to make him pass. But it's going to be really hard to do that because this is a guy who effortlessly got up to 6'4", 252 pounds. And he's solid. The dude's an alien.
Yeah.
So the thing is now, the best thing that you can do is have a running back there. Now, the thing is 16 million, is Jonathan Taylor worth 16 million? Absolutely. Is he going to get paid that? More than likely not. And that's only because of the fact that right now the running back market is just absolute trash. They can't come up with a solution to it. They can't come up with a way to make sure that they're compensated properly. And that's the position that takes the most physical punishment. Even when it comes down to D linemen and O linemen, D linemen and O linemen are paid. Like I said, they're in the trenches every single play. But we just saw Big Q got $20 million per year, and that was done on a Saturday. Like that was done. But the thing is now it's just like it's going to be hard fought to be able to try to find some type of impasse where we can get past JT's punk agent and still be able to go ahead and do it. I mean, we all want the agent fired, but that brings me to this next thing. Is Malky Cowell the most hated man in Colts history?
And right now, like Jim Irsay is, because all the fans are mad at him. But yeah, his agent is hated right now too. The top two right now. Because you got to add Ryan Grigson. So
people. I still haven't forgiven Grigson. You want to know how I know that Malky Cowell is probably like the most hated person in Colts history?
Mm-hmm.
Dan Dakich.
Oh yeah,
actually had Colts fans agreeing with him for once, and he said his clown agent, his idiot agent, is over here just making him look worse. And me, I'm not a fan of Dakich at all. However, when I read that, I was just like, you actually make sense for once.
Yeah. It's crazy.
I mean, how about you, Austin? Is he the most hated man in Colts history?
It's hard to pick between him and Ryan Grigson, honestly, because like Grigson pretty much ruined Andrew Luck's career.
Yeah.
So I mean, can we really forgive him? But we can get rid of Malky if JT just fires him. And if we re-sign him, then he didn't do as much damage as Grigson did. But it's close. I think I put Grigson a little bit above him though.
Yeah,
it's a long list. I mean, hell, do you want to add 30 seconds of Josh McDaniels? Because it was a hot 30 seconds. He was a head coach before he said no.
That was a lot of other things too, because remember, it's just like that he had a whole entire staff hired, and then he ended up leaving the whole entire staff like
yeah.
All right, what are we gonna do now?
It's a lot of hated people right now, man, in our organization.
Yeah.
Matt Pryor,
Julian Davenport,
so we don't like him. But we certainly don't hate him. Like we're just like, yeah, Matt Pryor is just kind of like a one-off. Matt Pryor is like an ex-girlfriend that you're like, yeah, I can see me and you never getting together. I wish you the best, but just not here. Like that's where that stands. So yeah, no, absolutely not. So then after everything is said and done, and Logan says Alec Pierce is better than Pittman, our wide receiver 2 is not better than our wide receiver 1. All right, so let's just get that out the way now. All right. And I don't care. You know what? Michael Pittman is wide receiver 1. I'm going to keep saying it. I don't give a damn. All right.
Oh yeah, because they've been calling us out, man. They said that even we don't think he's a wide receiver 1, and I never said he wasn't.
I don't know who was saying that, but suck a butt. So I mean, and so then
I told you, see you and Austin are the y'all. I've been nice.
Nope. I'm even. Sir, do you want me to read? Do you want me to read the things that you said in that Twitter group?
This is a family podcast, okay? We're gonna.
All right. So then, with that being said, no way. Okay. So here, actually, we got this comment coming. So
shit.
This is okay.
Thanks.
So Ryan Brotons said, "No way he's the most hated. In a sad situation, JT is smarter than this," which we said. Even if he does $116 million a year, this isn't the way to go about it. Why would any franchise pay a guy that much coming off of injury that isn't a franchise quarterback? Fair. And I understand how important he is to this season, but how vital is he to the future, especially if Richardson hits his peak toward the end of JT's career? Okay, and that's
big.
That's fair. So I like that, Ryan. Thank you for that. Like, that's fair. Like, that's a fair assumption because, I mean, if we are looking at time is definitely like that's going to be a tough thing to to get past. And I mean, even if you have like JT in a role where, somebody else is coming along, let's just say if Evan Hull ends up panning out, now you have another guy who you'll have in addition to your guy, and you have a 1-2 punch that will be able to go ahead and, like I said, help transition in the best way possible. So, I mean, there are possibilities. There's a lot of things that we're able to do, but I think it's just going to be more so about the fact that they're going to have to really just find an impasse and go with it. And hopefully Jonathan Taylor's agent will be his ex-agent because that guy's a tool. So, and by the way, I think somebody from his agency got on and said, hey, for everybody that had something to say something now. And, my response was, who the hell are you? So, to whoever his coworker or whatever he is, you can suck a butt too. So, yeah. And now, so then now, just taking randomly, we're not even betting, just taking predictions. When will this all be resolved?
Tomorrow. It's gonna take a while, I think.
Austin, you and I, we're cool. I love you as a brother, but sometimes I just don't like you. I just can't do it sometimes.
At least it ain't me.
Okay.
I'm glad I'm not in those shoes, but this is gonna bleed into the season.
Really?
Yeah, because we're weeks away before the first game, and I don't think it's gonna resolve that soon because I mean the agent already saying that he doubted that the shit get repaired, so he's already looking for an out, so it could bleed all the way to the season. They bearing any changing between the front office because Irsay got his mind made up. He said he's not paying that $16 million. Yeah, that ain't happening. Yeah. He said that $16 million, but whatever the offer is, that ain't happening right now. So whatever it is, he said he ain't paying it right now. But he did say that, we all talk about how he's coked up or he on drugs or he's doing this again, whatever, he relapse. But the guy got some sense. When it comes down to money, shit, he might be the smartest man in the world when it comes down to money. And he's making sure that he keep. I ain't gonna say keep it. It's the fact that he makes sense. He makes sense. I'm not gonna pay you right now. I'm going to pay you. He said I'm going to pay you. It ain't about the injury thing. I don't think they're not paying him because he got injured. It's the fact that your contract is not up, man. We have paid all our guys.
Exactly.
Yeah, they didn't pay Marshall Paul. They didn't pay Adrian James. Okay, cool. We can't use that right now. We can't use that. He also said that when Peyton Manning was in the league as rookie, he had a running back surrounded him. So he's talking about JT. So he's gonna pay him. So I don't know why his agent is just sticking his foot in his mouth right now because he's gonna cost his client the bag.
Yeah, he's gonna cost cost him more than he's going to make him.
Yeah, he's going to cost him back. So, and people are saying why Ballard not saying that. I think Ballard probably feels the same damn way. Ballard cheap any goddamn way. So I don't think he need to talk at all because he's fucking Ben Ballard. So, and I think he agrees with Irsay. So, I think that once they, the agent, both sides continue talking, if they do talk at all, it might bleed through the season. I mean, I don't think he'll hold out. I don't think he'll hold out. I think he'll play.
Because holding out is going to cost him more than anything else.
Yeah, and he may cost us a game, may cost us a game or two because he's pissed off. But are we looking at a division this year? Are we looking at Super Bowl this year? If he costs us something, he's only helping us out and hurt himself.
We're winning the Super Bowl. What do you mean?
I mean, we all
right. Puppy breaks there, Austin. You're getting too crazy. Too crazy.
I'm only proving my point that I'm the nicest guy. I'm the nicest guy. I'm proving my point today.
No, that wasn't mean. It was just terribly unrealistic. All right. So Austin, you said tomorrow. Josh says this is going to bleed into the season. I'm going to say this is before preseason week 3. This will all be sorted out. So 2 weeks. I give it 2 weeks.
So you're saying that he's going to fire his agent because I think his agent's going to change his, shut the fuck up and change his mind and temper his expectations of a contract.
So you know what? I think a deal gets done without the agent. I just think that JT just stops getting bad advice from a guy who's clearly giving him bad advice. I mean,
he don't think it, right. He don't see it right now. He's a young guy looking at money. He don't see it right now. It's going to take a lot of people from Colts organization and people like family members, and probably other people reaching out. Maybe Adrian James might reach out to him. Look, man, I've been through the same thing. Look, Colts didn't offer me a contract after my second contract, so I understand that, but it's not the right way to do it, man. Go out there and show the team that you can ball out and earn that contract, and if you earn it, they're going to pay you.
Yeah, but money, you know what? But there's a big difference between Edgerrin and how this thing's going with JT. Edgerrin was on a 7-year deal.
Well, I'm just saying, like after that contract was up, they didn't offer him the deal that he wanted, so he went to Arizona to get it. But I agree with you saying. Yeah, he was on a 7-year cheap deal, actually.
Yeah. So it's like I get the Edgerrin example, but it's also a terrible example because even then, Edgerrin was secured for 7 years.
Marshall Faulk then.
Huh?
Marshall Faulk. What about that one? That's an example too, because he didn't. I don't think he played out his rookie contract with the Colts before he got traded to the Rams.
Because it's just like because they got what they got for him, and apparently it worked for the Rams, but at the same time, it's just like they knew what they had in Peyton Manning. So the thing is, it's just like that you have somebody coming up in that case. I just think it's a very, very different thing because you know what you're getting with the Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily know the same thing when you come with the Anthony Richardson. You knew that when you had Peyton Manning, you were going to be transitioning into being a pass first team. You didn't necessarily need a running back, but you got a running back because you know what? You just got somebody to go ahead and help back there. But the difference now is that you have somebody like Anthony Richardson who is no way in any way, shape, or form the same archetype as Peyton Manning was, because Peyton Manning was a pocket quarterback through and through, and that's just what that was.
He was a damn nerd.
But with this, fair.
He studied the game. He actually studied it. Yeah.
And the thing is, Anthony Richardson, I think, is also he's going to show up as being a big student of the game, but also at the same time, he doesn't have those same attributes that you have with Peyton Manning. So the thing is now, what do you do to make sure that you're providing him with as much support as possible? You make sure that you provide him with somebody who's going to be able to help him with running the ball, who's going to be able to help him with potentially chipping and then rolling out. You have with somebody like Anthony Richardson, there isn't a single play in the playbook that isn't available with preparation.
Mm-hmm.
Because let me tell you, even now, everybody that is trending towards being mobile, having a strong arm, being able to do ABC all the way down to X, Y, and Z. But you do want to make sure that you have help with that. I think the one thing that we're going to look at, especially now, I mean, Pat Mahomes is just a unicorn, so that's just who he is. But the thing is, look at somebody like Josh Allen. He has the arm, he can throw, he can do that. But guess what? Who's the best person who runs the ball best on his team?
He does.
Him.
Who?
Josh Allen.
Yeah, they definitely have a running game. That's bad. Yeah, they let go Devin Singletary. I think he's with the Texans, right?
Houston. He's with Houston.
I think this is my theory. Is that again? I go back to that. I think they're looking at the Ravens, how they built their team around Lamar. They didn't get the team they have until now, but they did get a running game. They had Mark Ingrams, and they ended up getting J.K. Dobbins. But Lamar was featured a lot in that run game for his first 2 seasons. I'm not saying that could be us, but I feel like that's why you haven't seen the Ravens spend money on running back, and J.K. Dobbins won't get nearly the amount of money that JT has. Well, offering or will be offered. But I think that's why he's with the highest paid quarterback right now. Or is it Herbert? Is Herbert the highest quarterback?
No, Herbert's the highest paid, but he's only the highest paid by an extra $500K per year. Right,
but that's how Lamar won the negotiation. Because like, I was a quarterback and I was a running back for your team, so I was MVP. So I feel like they're looking at teams like they're looking at the Ravens and they're looking at maybe possibly what Philly did, because they use Hurts in the rushing game and they let go Miles Sanders, which that's stupid. But hey, that's what you see what they're doing right now. They don't have a running game.
Yeah, but that's where they're at. So that's just what it is. So you know what? It's great to be able to talk this out, because we know that it's been an awful time trying not to talk about this. And then also hearing all the BS coming from people who say they're fans that are just saying they're being realistic, whatever the hell that means.
Right.
But yeah.
What is realistic?
Realistic. I don't know.
We've seen a certain fan that say they're realistic about their team where they support other teams, but we're not going to talk about that first.
Yeah, okay. We're gonna stay as far away from that one as possible. We're not gonna touch that with a 10-foot pole. So yes. All right. So then with that being said, so we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna get out of here. Oh, wait, hold on. We have one more. If JT has a disappointing season, then would his next contract look way different? His value will likely decline to the Colts, the league overall. Right now, JT and his agent likely feel like he should be the running back to stand firm and demand the money sooner, which likely just hurts him. If Irsay says he isn't doing it, he probably just isn't doing it. Colts should just give him a $2 million bonus, keep him happy for this season. Tell him if he produces, the extension is coming next season. And
but they said that though. But as far as the extension happening next season, as far as the $2 million up front, I mean, I don't think they want to right now, especially with this agent shit. He talking the way he's talking. I think they won't give him shit right now.
Well, yeah, and I think the once again, you're just running into an issue where the timing is just awful. Like, the timing is absolutely awful. Like, if JT came out and the first 4 games of the season and he has 500 yards and he's leading the league, I don't think there would be any reason to not say, oh yeah, let's go, let's do this. But the problem is that we haven't seen him in action since the end of November, damn near. And let's just say end of December. We haven't seen him in action since the end of, or middle to end of December. So we haven't seen him in action since December, and he's not out there on the field right now. So if he's not out there on the field, like, and he's demanding money, it's just like, it's tough, because now it's just like, okay, we're going to extend you, but it's just like, when are you going to be out here to produce for us?
So what's the problem? Because they say there's a back issue that he got right now. And we did see a limp. We did see a limp. So what's going on?
The back issue is something that was just something. It's that came out, but it wasn't anything that was like, oh yeah, like that absolutely happened. Even he refuted it himself. The one thing that he never refuted is the fact that there's been a lingering issue when it's come to the ankle. So I mean, it seems like it's just a bad ankle right now, especially with him just like being there every day. But that's just what it seems like right this moment. But I'm gonna say Eric was correct with, I do feel like they could go ahead and do something to make sure that it's just like he has that. You have 19 million in cap. You're not going to do anything else. We're leading into the preseason where you have the 90-man rosters, and then you have to get that down to 53 at one point. You're going to have the money. Somebody's going to be cut that's getting paid. So you have the means to be able to do whatever you need to do. And then next year's cap is going to go up by $28 million. And then we're not going to have any QB money or anything along those lines on there, which means that you're going to have that much more. So, I mean, you can.
The thing is, we don't see Pittman throwing a bitch fit, and we don't see Grover Stewart because I think he's in a contract year. Kenny Moore is in a contract year.
Yeah.
Who else? Julian Blackman's in a contract year. That's a lot. It's a list. But none of those guys are having a bitch fit. They're going to, we have seen what Pittman have said. He's going to go out there and play.
Yeah.
And I mean, Grover Stewart Grover Stewart earned his money. I'm not saying JT haven't, but he's not having that fit. He's going to go out there and play, and if he earn, he's going to earn what he's probably want to negotiate.
Yeah. Yep. He's going to earn it. He's going to, and I have no doubt in my mind that like JT is absolutely going to do so. But as of right now, he's hurting his case more than he's helping it. So I mean, that's pretty much just where they're at right now. Like he's going to have to just prove it, and he's going to have to show up. And it sucks because I love JT, but at the same time, it's just like he's hurting himself with all this BS. But
I stand with JT.
And that's fine. And I'm there with you. I understand. I want him to get signed, get paid, all that great stuff. So yes, I think we're all kind of on the same page when it comes down to it. Just want them to figure it out so that we can stop going through all this turmoil in the off season. Because I'm really sick and tired of dealing with turmoil in the off season.
There's always injuries. There's always some drama surrounding the team, like it was last year. Injuries and drama with Kenny Moore. It's every year.
Yeah.
It seems like now.
Yeah. So you know what? Like I said, hopefully it's all done soon. But before we go, special announcement. So the Horseshoe Mob will be live next week. Only difference is we will actually be live with Megan Hall over on Hall About Sports. You can go to hallaboutsports.com, or you can go to Twitter where she has a link for Hall About Sports. We'll be live there talking Colts news, talking with some other things. Like I said, just everybody just talking all that great content that you're looking for. So we'll be there next week at, I believe, 9 o'clock Eastern time. 9 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock Central. So yes, we will be live and we will be there. So make sure that you're tuning in. And also, there were some things that were said. Wait, hold on. Basically, what Barkley got, a bonus with the promise. His agent needs to shut up, and he's not going to outfeud Irsay. Fact. And then it's just like, this sounds an awful lot like Le'Veon Bell fiasco. Hopefully not, because that ended terribly. Le'Veon didn't fulfill his contract. He ended up spending a year out, and now he's making terrible music and having to get on boxing matches. So yes. So, and by the way, so Sam from the AFC South fan battle, sometimes on the Jaguar, she had some things to say about the Colts not being able to beat the Jags. And, I just feel like there's certain things that need to be said, only because of the fact that we do need to go ahead and cover this. So Sam has a poster of Jalen Ramsey on her wall. She actually let it slip. And she's had that poster ever since Jalen Ramsey was actually still in Jacksonville. And why? Because she loves Jalen Ramsey. Also, just to let you know, Sam, unlike other Jags fans, believes that Miles Jack knee was down in the AFC Championship in 2018. So
I knew it.
Let's go ahead, or whenever that playoff run was, who knows. But also, I just want to let you know, Sam likes Nickelback. She loves Nickelback. She didn't want to tell anybody. Sam loves Nickelback. That's what she loves. But you know what? We're gonna go and we're gonna leave Sam alone because at the end of the day, no matter what happens, nothing's gonna change the fact that she loves Jalen Ramsey. She cried when he got hurt the other day. But then she stopped crying when she heard that it was nothing serious and that he'd be back because she said, what am I going to do without my favorite player? And we say, you know what? You don't even have to worry about that because he'll be back sooner than you know.
Yeah, in December, ain't it?
No, he's going to be back before that.
Oh,
he's going to be back possibly in October. You want to know how I know?
She told you.
Exactly. All right. So then with that being said, guys, where can the people find you on social media? Where can the people find you other than in groups roasting people?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at CookieAustin2.
All right. Josh, what about you?
You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on X at Fisher Senior.
Sorry.
X. Stupid name. Stupid name. It's so stupid. Elon Musk is such a such a dork. But yes, go ahead, Josh. I'm sorry.
You can find me on X at Official Josh Senior.
Jesus. You can find me on the app formerly known as Twitter at CJ Colts fan because X is so stupid. Like it's the dumbest thing ever. But you know what, people? Have a great night. Sam loves Jalen Ramsey, but you knew that already. So yeah, have a great night, y'all. Stupid app. That's a stupid